You know that feeling when you're staring at the cloudy water in your backyard pool and thinking, I could just hose it down and hope for the best, but then you remember the last time you tried that your pump choked, the filter got clogged, and you ended up spending an entire weekend scrubbing the walls by hand. I've been there, and I get why anyone would hesitate before dropping a few $100 on a robotic cleaner they've never seen in action. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In this video, I'm going to walk through exactly what the KANGJIEM automatic robotic pool cleaner does for a typical residential pool, where it shines, and where it might leave you wishing you'd stuck with a manual vacuum. First off, the biggest question most people ask is, do I really need a robot, or can I keep using my current hose and pole? The answer depends on how much time you actually spend maintaining the pool and how consistent you want the water clarity to be. If you're the kind of homeowner who swims once a week, pulls the cover, and then forgets about the pool until the next weekend, a robot can be a game changer. It runs on its own, scrubs the floor and walls, and then parks itself when the job's done. On the other hand, if you're already on a strict maintenance schedule, enjoy the ritual of hand vacuuming, and are comfortable with a bit of elbow grease, the extra cost may not feel justified. What makes the KANGJIEM model stand out is the dual-drive motor system. Instead of a single brush that only agitates the water, this unit has two independent scrapers that work on the floor and the vertical surfaces simultaneously. In my own testing setting it up in a 12 by 25 foot in-ground pool, with a vinyl line, I noticed the robot tackled the stubborn algae patches along the steps within the first 20 minutes. That's the kind of targeted cleaning you can't get from a generic suction head that just spins in place. The 9.8-pound weight also means you can lift it out of the water without recruiting a second person, which is a relief if you're the only one doing the pool chores. Battery life is another practical point. The 9,000 mAh battery promises up to 240 minutes of run time, and in real use that translates to about 3 to 3.5 hours before the unit needs to recharge. For a pool up to 150 square feet, that's more than enough to complete a full cleaning cycle in one go. I ran it straight from a full charge, and it finished a complete pass including the shallow steps and deep end without needing a pause. The fact that it's cordless eliminates the tripping hazard of long power cords and means you can place the charging dock wherever is most convenient. Now, let's talk about the self-parking feature. The robot uses an intelligent algorithm to locate its dock when the battery gets low, or when it determines the cleaning cycle is complete. In practice, you'll hear a faint click as the wheels line up with the docking station, and the unit slides in on its own. This is handy if you have kids or pets running around the pool area. You don't have to chase the robot around to manually return it. However, the docking system does require a flat, stable surface. If your deck has a pronounced slope or uneven stones, you might have to level the area or risk the robot missing the dock and ending up stranded in the water. One of the hidden trade-offs is the water flow requirement. The robot relies on the pool's circulation system to provide enough suction for it to move and to collect debris. In homes with older pumps that run at a lower flow rate, the cleaner can struggle to lift heavier leaves or sand. I noticed that when I threw a handful of pine needles into the pool, the robot would pull them in, but the larger pine cones tended to get caught in the brush and required a quick manual removal. So, if your pool is heavily shaded and collects a lot of foliage, you'll still need to do occasional pre-screening, or consider a model with a larger debris hopper. Speaking of the hopper, the KANGJIEM's capacity is modest enough for fine sand and small particles, but not for a full leaf load after a storm. I ran a test after a windy afternoon, and after about 30 minutes the hopper was full, prompting the robot to pause and signal that it needs emptying. That's not a deal-breaker, but it does mean you'll have to stop the cleaning session briefly to dump the contents if you're dealing with a lot of organic debris. For most backyard pools that see occasional leaf fall, that's a reasonable compromise for the convenience of a hands-free cleaner. Another practical consideration is noise. Robotic cleaners can be surprisingly loud, especially the larger units designed for commercial use. The KANGJIEM runs at a level comparable to a quiet dishwasher, just enough to be audible from the patio, but